Hi everyone, Callie here. In this video, I am going to show you my completed 2023 LEGO Winter Village. I am aware that it is now January 2024 and most people have taken their winter villages down and I am just finishing mine. But it only just started snowing outside where I live, so winter has only just begun, and in this multiverse, it's always Christmas. In my last video, this is the layout that I ended it with, and I wasn't particularly happy with the fact that the ski and climbing centre obscured your view of the Elf House Club, although I did really like how I had my shopping street at the back with the Christmas tree and the big ice skating rink in the middle. So those were factors I wanted to take forward as I figured out my final layout for this year, which has changed quite a bit from what you see here. What you see here is a bare bones version of my new layout. First off, it is 4 base plates longer to give me plenty of space to have that Guardian Stronghold mock that you'll see later. And then I've moved the shops to create an actual main street that lines up both with the tree and the drawbridge. Looking down Main Street towards the castle, you can see that I've created an avenue there by putting that Main Street sign in the middle, and then I added the horse and carriage that we got as a gift with purchase. Hopefully it makes sense that you can see it from this side, and it should look pretty spectacular coming in from the castle area. I wanted to keep most of the commercial elements in the center surrounded by the train tracks and the tram. So off to one side I have a Santa area, which is dedicated to the Elf Clubhouse, a couple of gift with purchases I had last year, and most importantly, Santa's sleigh. This leaves plenty of space to create stories, and of course for expansion in future years too. Behind the shops on this side, we've got Santa's Visit House, and then we've got the ski and climbing center in the corner as it was suggested by a couple of reviewers. I then created a little side street here with another shop and one of the market stalls that came in as a gift with purchase. Before entering the final version of the Winter Village, we first must ask the Snow Guardians permission as they protect this land. A few of them are up here on the battlement and they look like they're gonna say yes, and we can go through the drawbridge into the Winter Village. First thing you see in this magical land is the main street with an avenue with snowbanks in the middle with the Christmas tree at the bottom of the street. As we expand out, you can see that there's a Santa area to the right and then a more sort of recreational area to the left. I'll now take you on a tour of the entire Winter Village, starting with the right-hand side of the Guardian Stronghold. And over here we have a warg from Lord of the Rings and Sven from Frozen, because why not? If they're sitting in front of the Shrieking Shack, and on top of there we've got a Scout Trooper just making sure that everything is okay. And I like here that we have stories with the Guardian just fighting off the warg, making sure it's safe, and a squirrel randomly on the back of Sven. We've got Guardians checking out the Shrieking Shack, and then I've got a brown bear that's found this crystal ball. Looking at this area from the other side, you can also see that we have the Arctic Explorer, which came with the seals, and you'll see the seals in just a second. They're all hanging out over here with a little pond that I made. I used some of those loose transparent studs just to kind of give an idea of the ice kind of breaking there, and I really love these seals. I found this set on 50% off, so I grabbed quite a few of those. And then we've got the GWP from last year with the elves in the corner, just sits beside the wood nicely there, and I think it brightens up that corner. And then I have Santa's sleigh, and I actually bought 4 extra reindeers that you'll see around to make it 8 for his sleigh, but I couldn't quite figure out how to get them like flying quite right, so I just left it as the 4 and then put the rest around. Here you can see Santa and Mrs. Claus. She's brought a pie for the journey. There's plenty of presents you could see in the back there. And then over here we've got kind of the elf area. We've got Santa's workshop, which was also a GWP last year. Little snowman there, little dog, a couple of reindeer just kind of hanging out right next to the elf clubhouse to kind of create that kind of North Pole section to keep it separate from the rest of the Winter Village. Something I really wanted to do was create a dedicated Santa area. I'm not sure if it works perfectly as I envisioned, but with the parts and the time that I had, that's what I put together. And here we've got Snowtroopers singing carols as Santa takes off on his mission. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I do love a Snowtrooper, so there's quite a few of them in my Winter Village. Next to the dedicated crossing section, I've got the post boxes for Santa. That one there is received mail and it's overflowing with letters, at least that's what I tried to show. And then I put in the print element from this year's city calendar just to show that this is the Santa section. Moving to the other side of the track, the first area I have is Santa's Grotto. I have Santa sitting on Loki's throne from the Marvel calendar. The kids are queuing with their parents and each of them has a camera to take a snapshot of this special moment. That is the new dark red Santa from BAM, which I picked up earlier in the season. Behind Santa, there's the snowman and then the horse that came in last year's city calendar and a kid on a sleigh, just kind of filling in those little spaces so there's no gaps, or at least large ones. And then we've got a little cobble street that leads from that area into the main street so Santa and the villagers can get between the sections. I found these snowflakes on the pad wall and I decided that that would make a good little fence area, and I've also put them around the village as well just to catch the light and to bring a little sparkle to it. On the other side, I did create these little flower elements and some of those trees. I wish the train was going around right now. Put batteries in it, I recharged them, it still won't go. I ordered new ones, so when they come, I'll finally get to have my train going around. This side is definitely the Harry Potter section. I've got the two buildings from the Hogsmeade set, and I've glittered it with elements from the Harry Potter calendar this year, including the minifigures and the tree, and of course the printed elements. I didn't really adulterate the sets themselves much, I just added a few extra snow elements, snowflakes, and a couple of random animals because I like having animals all over the village. Here we have that winter market stall GWP and a few villagers buying a nice beverage, the nice tree in the middle, and then the ice rink at the back. It looks the same as it did last year, having removed all of the Lunar New Year elements just to keep it within the right theme. So that's everything that I have on this side of the winter village. I do like that the open backs are towards me so I can actually see into the buildings. I am not a big fan of open backs generally, but I think it works here for this. My favorite areas are probably that little seal construct, and I do like that I at least have the reindeer flying this year and they weren't last year. I did my best to fill in most of the areas with little animals or snowmen or something, so there wasn't too many gaps along the way. I am a big fan of animals and I do love these reindeer. I would really like to probably have some more for next year as well. With Santa's side taken care of, let's go look at the other side of the winter village. On the other side of the stronghold, we've got another Arctic Explorer and of course a Snow Guardian there, right in front of the Whomping Willow, which I winterized a little bit. Behind that, we've got some foliage with some more seals, and then some polar bears and the baby polar bears that came from that Arctic Mobile Lab set. Looking at this from the other side, you get a better view of those polar bears and that Arctic Explorer taking pictures of everybody. And then we come around the train tracks at the other side of Santa's visit to the back of the musical shop. At the back of the shop, I've added a few elements from the various advent calendars just to give it some more flavor, and a couple of Snowtroopers as well. Next to that is this year's winter set, the Alpine Lodge. I've added in the Avengers that had Christmas sweaters, and of course I put the Quinjet on the top there too. And yep, that's a Scout Trooper off to use the outhouse. On the other side of the tracks, we've got the little ice skating rink that came with the Alpine Lodge. I've added a few minifigures so they're having a nice skating game. And of course, there's a little tree there next to Santa's visit. And in the corner, I had a couple of Snow Guardians and Huskies just to liven up that section. I set up Santa and a Snow Guardian having a playful sword fight, and behind them, a couple of Snowtroopers are heating up some snacks on that little outside oven. Behind that is a nice little seating area with an outdoor lamp just to kind of warm up after you've been doing some snow activities, and then a Santa and a sleigh with some toys. I also included this little feast area in front of the ski and climbing center, so everyone has got plenty of food and drink when they're done with their activities. At the back here, it's open so you can see into the build, and of course at the top we have Santa just checking things out. Snuck in behind that is a Christmas tree farm with a few squirrels and the purveyor. He's even got an axe there, hopefully you can see in there, and you've also got a woman who has a chainsaw. Here is a lady that has already picked her tree. She's got her axe and she's got a little sled to take it out, so she's off to decorate it in her house. Moving inside the tracks, first area we have here is a farmer's market that was created using a lot of the mini builds that we had in this year's advent calendars, primarily the Harry Potter ones because they actually lent themselves really nicely to this farmer's market idea. I've also created a cobble street that connects both the ski and climbing center and of course the larger ice rink at the back here too. I think it's a nice effect and I like that everyone has a way of walking from one area to the next. On the other side of the farmer's market, we have a little alleyway that has the front of the toy store and another market stall GWP. I've added some toys on the outside there, and I like how Santa's leaving the store with a sack of goodies. And of course, I had to put the giant Duplo polar bear that I got last year because it's just really cute. That's most of the details that I've added on this side of the winter village. I'm really happy with the little farmer's market, the Christmas tree area, and of course just these little pockets of places where the minifigures can come together and celebrate with food and drink and just kind of enjoy the outdoors. I think that's really what I tried to capture on this side. So it's a little bit different from what is going on the other side of the village. I'm now going to show you the central section, and Main Street was actually pretty hard for me to film because I'm having to lean over the Guardian stronghold and try not to put pressure on my table, so I do apologize if it's a little bit less than comprehensive than the other areas. As you enter the village through the drawbridge, there is a crossing there for the tram, and then we have a guy here with the sled, and he has a tree and an axe he's used to cut it down. I then got two of these winter time carriages, GWP, so I've got one going in one direction and one going in the other, creating that nice avenue. And then we've got the carol singer here at the outside of the stall. I also included the sculptress from the city calendar and the sculptor there at top, and put the train on that side. Of course, there's a cobble street over there too. I'm not really sure if you could see it properly from the other direction. So there you go, just a little cobble street. I would have put more details in, but I was restricted by parts. Looking at the street from the other direction, you can just really see how beautiful these carriages are and how it really works in the sort of pedestrianized winter village. I'm a big fan of them, and that's why I bought enough to get two. We've also got last year's GWP train there at the other side of the tree. It was the Friends calendar one that was at the other side that I was really excited about when I was building that. And of course, Santa's Tires, who's heading into Hogshead for a drink. This side, I just want to show how the Avengers are hanging out at the front of the Alpine Lodge. We've got Steve coming home with his turkey. We've then got Thor and Natasha hanging out there. And Spider-Man is pranking them by throwing some gold webs in their direction. And once again, I added the Quinjet on the top because it's the absolute perfect place for it. That completes the overview of my 2023 LEGO Winter Village. Is it perfect? No, of course not. I don't think there's such a thing. But am I proud of it? Yes, I am. I think it's a vast improvement on what I managed to do last year, and considering this is only my second ever winter village and I've only been collecting Lego for a little over a year, and it's my first really big diorama, I'm pretty proud of it. And I did manage to incorporate my 4 cats, so there they are sitting proudly at the top of the ice rink. Some things that I would like to improve is I think I could do with some more trees, lights, sort of those kind of details that I just didn't have time to put in this year. I think my cobble street could definitely use some more parts. I just didn't have them, so I'll keep collecting them this year and add to it in the future. Another thing I have here is I purposely made it big so that I could have space to expand it next year with more ideas. But one thing I'm definitely going to do is probably destroy this whole thing and put it all in Mills plates. I find it really hard on my knees to go down on the floor and actually add to this. So if I Mills plate it up, I can lift it one at a time and put it in. So it is a little bit sad, but it is going to stay here until probably September when I'll start to break it all down to do that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how to improve the Winter Village for next year, so do comment below so I can get started on making those plans. I like the multiverse aspect of my Winter Village. There's plenty of animals, there's snow guardians, there's snowtroopers, there's Marvel characters. It's fun. It's got all the things in it that I enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this too, and if you did, please hit the like button to let me know. And please subscribe to my channel to see what I'm up to in 2024. And yes, that is my cat Griffin who has infiltrated the Lego room. I'm off to chase him out, but thanks for watching and have a great day.